Shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Alright guys, so here in this box is the cheapest Xbox console that I could find on eBay. And so you might be wondering, how did I make sure this is the cheapest console? Well, it's a pretty simple process. I basically went to eBay, went to the search bar, typed in original Xbox console, and then I made sure I was looking at buy it now listings, and I sorted by lowest price, and then made sure it was in the US and everything. And then I made sure I was looking at used consoles and refurbished consoles rather than for parts are not working, and then from there I found the cheapest console. Now it was a little bit trickier than that because sometimes people will put used but the console is still broken, so I had to read all the descriptions and make sure this console was actually considered working. And yeah, so let's go ahead and open this thing up, and we're basically going to check out the condition, see if it actually works. So I paid about 53 bucks for this. I made an offer, and so after tax and shipping, and actually I think shipping was free, but after the price of the product and tax it was $53 I believe. And as you can see, it came in a interesting box here. Nothing wrong with it. It's recycling boxes. But let's go ahead and see what's inside of here. And I always find it interesting buying cheap consoles on eBay because you never know what you're going to get. You know, sometimes you can get a really good deal because it's the cheapest console, and if it's in decent condition, then it's, ends up being a good deal. But the flip side is a lot of times the cheap consoles are sold by people that are just trying to get rid of stuff and they don't package things well, and you can get basically a load of crap. And this is interesting so far. So it seemed like it was packaged well, and the box actually fits the console really well, but there's basically no padding. You got paper right here, and the paper is just basically wrapped around the console. Let me go ahead and try to slice this a little bit, trying not to hit the console underneath there. And so as you can see here, there's a couple, probably 2 layers of paper here, and then the console. So yeah, not a lot of protection in there, so hopefully this thing works. But let's just kind of take a look at this thing and see what we're working with. So on the top, it's obviously pretty dirty. Got some scratches here, got a random piece of tape. Honestly, not sure why you wouldn't just remove that tape before selling it, make it look a little bit nicer. But yeah, most of this is dirt, you can clean up pretty easily. Let's take a look at the front here, which is a bit dirtier. You have some dirt in the crevices here. There's some dirt there, pretty scratched up, and you're obviously missing the front of the disc tray. Not a big deal if it works. Here in the bottom, you actually got all 4 rubber feet, which is a surprise, but good to see. And then it looks like it has not been opened before, because if it has been opened, you would usually see a puncture here and a puncture here. You can remove those labels and then unscrew the screw, but I haven't seen that very often. And then on the sides, looks pretty good. I don't see any cracks or anything. Just your standard scuffs and some more dirt. And it doesn't smell like cigarette smoke or anything else bad. So, not so bad so far. And then last but not least, if we take a look at the back, pretty dirty as well. You got some dirt around the power port. Got some dust in these crevices. But yeah, you get your power port here, your AV port, your Ethernet port. And I actually didn't even look at the manufacturing date on the bottom, but it looks like it was November 12th, 2004. So it's actually fairly, I'm not going to call it recent, but more recent than, it wasn't like the OG Xbox. It is the OG Xbox, but it wasn't the one that came out on release day. It was actually a few years later. But yeah, it doesn't look, it's not terrible. But let's go ahead and plug this thing in, and we'll check it out and see if it actually works. Alright guys, so here's the console. Got it plugged in with my AV cable, power cable, and my controller. And I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but obviously this thing came with only the console. If it came with the controller and stuff, it would have been more expensive. But yeah, let's just take a closer look at the condition of this thing. So like I said, got some dust and dirt on the front, mainly in these controller ports right here. All 4 of them have some, a little bit right there. The top is pretty grimy as well, but nothing you can't clean up. And then obviously the cover is missing right here. But overall, not bad for the cheapest console on eBay. And real quick before we turn this thing on, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see future content, and also hit the join button if you want to support the channel monetarily. But let's go ahead and turn this thing on. So 3, 2, 1. Alright, we got life. That's a good sign. Oh, and already booted up. Cool. So we got our startup screen. Hopefully we don't get an error here. So far so good. And boom, there it is. Cool. Alright, so we're booted up. Let's go ahead and just select the generic time. Also want to check out this disk drive right here. Nice. The disk drive is not open. How great is that? I don't know if they just didn't test it out before they sold this thing, but there it goes. Oh, and there's a game in it too. No way. We got Halo 2, and it looks pretty good too, guys. Oh, that's awesome. Nice. I was gonna say, I mean, if this, they said this console was 100% working, so if they sold it to me with a stuck disk drive, that's not accurate. But we got Halo 2 for free in here, so, and it's not too hard to get these disk drives to work most of the time. You just gotta replace a little rubber band, so it gets stuck every once in a while. But there is a little hole right here where you can stick in a paperclip and get it to open manually. So let's go ahead and do that since it's not opening very often. Press eject. Stick the paperclip in. Maybe. Well, I've done this in the past and it worked fine. There it goes. Alright. Just had to play around with it a little bit. I'm definitely stuck, and I'm kind of questioning if they actually tested this, because first of all, there's a game in here. If they had actually tested it, I'm like, you know, most people would remember to take a game out, especially Halo 2. I'm not sure how much this sells for on eBay, but it's worth at least a few bucks. Well, let's go ahead and, I guess, put it back in there and see if a game works, which actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure game discs automatically boot up on the Xbox. I can't remember, but that's not a good sign if they do, because it means it's not working. Let's go ahead and put that in, and nice. Alright, your Xbox can't recognize this disc. Make sure it's an Xbox game, DVD, or audio CD. So, we either have an issue with the disc here or the laser. Now, just kind of taking a look at it, it actually has kind of two smudges on it. I think you can see that pretty well. I'm not sure if those are like from fingerprints or if that's something else, some kind of defect on the disc. I'm not sure, but we're kind of just lay this down here so we don't damage the bottom anymore. And we're going to play a game that I know works. We got Project Gotham Racing, so we're just going to plug that in and see if that works. But yeah, they definitely did not test this thing. If they, I'm assuming they probably just booted it up and saw it booted up and called it a day. But yep, this console doesn't work. They didn't test it. Seriously, man. But like I said, there's a lot of people that'll sell games that are considered used, but then if you read the title, it says, you know, read description or something like that. And you go into the description and it says it works 100% except it doesn't read discs, and so it's like it, you know, that it doesn't actually work then. There we go. There it is again. All right, so let me just go and verify the listing, but I'm 99.99% sure this was listed as used and said it works. Of course, I can open it up and probably get it to work, and honestly, it's probably one of the easier repairs. If you just clean the laser, it'll probably work. But the problem is we bought this as a working console. If it was untested, then that'd be fine, but a working console should work, obviously. Thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace gives you a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to easily create your website. You can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated, members-only content, and you can also manage your members, send communications, and leverage audience insights all in one easy-to-use platform. You can also use Squarespace extensions to manage inventory, promote products, and much more. You can even display posts from your social profiles on your website and vice versa. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/JacobR to save 10% off your first purchase. Alright guys, so I took a look back at the listing, and it did say used, which by definition on eBay is basically means that it's a product that's used but still functional. And I actually looked at the description here, and the description was blank except for their standard template. You know, it's just one of those companies that sells stuff on eBay, and they have like a standard template with their return policy and shipping policy and all that stuff. And yeah, there was no details there except for the pictures of the console. So my guess is they just sold it as untested, but they didn't put that in the description. Which they should have if they were actually selling it as untested. You know, if you put a console as used, then it's used and working. So yeah, somebody messed up there, but it looks like I will be returning this and getting a refund. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like down below and hit the subscribe button to see future content, and also hit that join button if you want to support the channel monetarily and help me buy more consoles to unbox for you guys and test out. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.